Hello, how are you? It's nice to be here. I just feel strongly about this opportunity, which I appreciate very much. I asked for 10 additional seconds today to mention how impressive this celebration is. I mean, seeing all of you so nice, so formally suited and so on, and the stage and everything so well taken, or it's not common. It's not common nowadays. Congratulations and thanks for letting me be part of this activity and this experience. As mentioned by David, 33 years ago, I would have been one of you in your place. So we are colleagues. I graduated 33 years ago from this 2-year tour as ambassador teacher in Virginia. I was the first of such a kind. And yes, I was sponsored by what is now Participate Learning. Back then, the organization had a dream that was instilled by Phyllis and by Fred. The dream of fostering understanding among human beings from different cultural settings and through education strive for increased well-being of people and peace among nations. A dream, well, worth pursuing, no doubt. As I sat in that imaginary assembly of graduation, commencement of 33 years back, an assembly of one, as I will explain, I thought I had to reflect, as I do today, that the experience of being an ambassador teacher had made me a much better human being, as I'm sure happened to you after 5 years. This is a unique circumstance that we commemorate, you and I, dear friends, dear ambassador teachers, dear colleagues. We have had the opportunity of making this a better world through international education. We've had the opportunity of bringing a culture, different cultures, into the classrooms and to the communities in which we have worked, and showing others here in the United States our most diverse and distinct traits as human beings, and we've been able to share and to communicate them with those people with whom we engage through our service and through our very commendable experience. You and I, colleagues, as I said, as ambassadors and teachers, have been privileged to live in this life-changing opportunity, life-changing for me and I'm sure for you. But this opportunity does not end today. It only reaches a landmark for you and for me, for further construction of our quest, for further construction of that our vocation. We took a plane because we had the vocation to do it, to come and to try to make a change, to try to be different. It was a brave decision that we all took in accepting the challenge. And of course, throughout that, we have learned well to do that. In what I wrote in the company, and in the best of company, in the best of guidance, in the best of sponsorship, that of Participate Learning. What more than 30,000 ambassador teachers have make up this legion now, from 32 countries, and since 1988. Imagine then what it meant for me 35 years back, to be the first and the only visible one in the whole country. It has a great significance for me through life. I feel a certain responsibility and joy in having been that person, and particularly in attending this commencement and sharing with you all in what I hope is a two-way exchange, our recollections and the impact of this great experience for us. Once an ambassador teacher, always an ambassador teacher. You cannot dispose of that trait, that circumstance. It will just show up on you as you walk the streets, or you attend meetings, or you teach further, or you just interchange with people. Just look at me. I mean, I kept on being a formal teacher for some time after that, after my experience here, and I'm still, yes, a full-time teacher, mentor to whomever crosses my way. They don't know it, but I just teach and talk and mention experiences and dreams that we may have. A formal ambassador from Costa Rica, a small and unarmed country, to the United Nations, a world organization that strives for peace, for development, and for human rights, that I did in the years of 2018 to 2022, just last year. This occupation, sure you agree with me, brought us plenty of opportunities to make children, to make students, and the community members knowledgeable about the world, about its peoples, and about its cultures and its needs. Let me, for example, remember that while being ambassador teacher in southern Virginia, where I was teaching world politics and regional politics, and that where many of my students were enlisted members of the United States Armed Forces, since there are several bases in that vicinity of southern Virginia. I was, as a man coming from a not so distant country, where we had abolished the army since 1948, the year in which I was born. And I was telling them in 1988, 1989, the effects that the Cold War getting hot meant for our people in Central America. And at that time, there was a particular involvement of the United States and of the forces that these men and women were part of, and the rest of their journeys. And we were able to, in doing so, we were able to dream. We were able to dream about what we spoke of being a win-win solution for the region and for the world. That the solution of individually becoming engaged citizens in pursuance of peace and understanding. And that was what we were practicing throughout, and what you have been practicing in your jobs in the last 5 years. Once this job is learned, I mention again, one never ceases its practice. And that is your task, my task, for the future, as you continue as ambassador teachers in all ways of life. This occasion and this commencement calls for all of us, of the past, graduates of the past and of the present, to make 3 very fitting tributes, and well-deserved tributes. The first one goes to all those that through many years have insisted that education is the best way to attain global understanding and therefore peace among all of us sharing this planet now and in the future. Let me recall the enactment in 1961 of the U.S. Mutual Educational and Cultural Exchange Act, that's also known as the Fulbright and Hayes Act, that no doubt were in the minds of Phyllis and Dr. Young when this idea began to be good. And in my country, in Costa Rica, the 1978 proposal for the creation within the United Nations system of the University for Peace, under the conviction in both cases that if you want peace, you should prepare for peace, which was a confrontation with a prevalent notion then that if you want peace, you should prepare for war, and therefore attain peace through deterrence and through fear. That was not the way. The way is through human communication and through human understanding. A second and most merited tribute goes to the Young family. To Phyllis, Dr. James, Phyllis, Alan, Jane also, and David, whom since then, in 1986, and now under David's very able leadership, have kept alight that purpose contained in the Participating Learning's mission statement, which states that the organization will strive, and I quote, to create global cultural and language experience that empower students and educators to positively impact the world. End of quote. It is with much affection that I remember being placed by you from a caboose here in Chapel Hill to serve and to have this opportunity as the first ambassador teacher, and jointly starting to develop that idea, that dream that you had, how a person could effectively be that ambassador that you had dreamed about. Thank you very much. It was in my heart, and you well know it. My third tribute goes, no doubt, to Participate Learning, the organization that has sponsored our positions as ambassador teachers. An organization that has been, for me, above all, a humane organization where every one of us, every one of you, counts as an individual and is considered worthy of attention, of support, of guidance, and of celebration, as we do today. The purpose of attaining peace through education and global understanding, the unrelenting pursuit of this objective purpose by the Young family, and the superb organization that Participate Learning as the torchbearer have made of all of us proud members of a legion that we will not walk away from, not only due to its merits and achievements, but mostly because we graduates are signed indelibly, as my mother told me, with a mark of commitment to global understanding. That was her take when I came back from this experience. Let me end by challenging you, my friends and colleagues, and challenging myself as well, to keep striving for a world, for a nation, for communities, for families, in which human understanding and cooperation is the leitmotif, the high purpose of our personal and professional efforts and lives. And try always, as I try today, to be true and solid ambassador teachers. You and I have learned how to do this with excellence. And in doing so, I'm sure we have enjoyed the immense reward that any international education brings to our lives and to the world. Glad to be here with you, glad to share it with you. Congratulations and thanks for having me sitting there.